Hi, welcome to another sewing video. Today I'm going to show you how I made a pleat skirt, an age inspired pleat skirt. This is my second skirt ever. This is the second skirt I have in my wardrobe, so I'm so excited. So I love pleat skirts and I love this top stitch pleat skirt. Today is all about the pleat skirt. The top, we'll get to that later in another video. I'm just going to dive right in, so stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, like, share my video. Who knows, somebody might want to make this skirt also. So these are the materials I used to make my pleated skirt, the age inspired pleated skirt. I used 3 yards of linen fabric. I also used a chalk to mark out my pleat, so you don't need a pattern for this. The most important measurement for the skirt is my waist. I'm going to break down how I got the width for my skirt. My voice will be faster than my written description, so bear with me. So I have 7 pleats for the front and 6 pleats for the back, in total 13 pleats. So I'm going to start with the front skirt width. So for the front skirt width, I first divided my waist into 2 because I'm working on one part. Secondly, I decided on my pleat lap. So now this depends on my fabric. My fabric is too small, so I used 3/4 inch and 3/4 inch, making it 1.5 inches. Now if you have a wider hip, you can do 2 inches lap or 2.5 inches lap. If you want it flowy, just like age skirt, you can do 2 inches or 2.5 inches lap. Now that depends on the fabric you have, but my fabric was limiting me, so I did 1.5 for the lap. Then the distance between each pleat, I did 2 inches. So you can keep your distance 2 inches, but make your lap more if you want it to be more flowy. So now to get that, I've already decided on my lap. My lap is 1.5 times 7. The 7 is the pleats, the amount of pleats. I'm going to do 7 pleats in front, so times 7. So I got 10.5 plus my half waist. So whatever number came up with. Then I added my 1 inch seam allowance. So after adding my 1 inch seam allowance, I went ahead to add 4 inches in addition. Now that 4 inches will create an A line under the skirt. I want the bottom of the skirt to be A line. So I know the 4 inches is not enough, but that's what my fabric could come up with. Okay, I'm trying to manage my fabric here. So if you have a wider hip, you can do 8 inches. That's 4 inches on one seam and 4 inches on the other seam. Okay, you can even do more if you want it to be flowy. You can do more for the A line. Okay, so now I've already determined the front of my skirt width, which is 30 inches. Now for the back, I also use 30 inches. Reason is the back is 6 pleats. That means I have 1.5 inches left. So that 1.5 inches left, I used it for my zipper allowance. So front and back, 30 inches for the width. So I'm going to show you how I marked my pleat and how I lapped it together. I've already gone ahead to cut my fabric, so you should do the same. Cut your fabric. Don't forget what I said. If you have a wider hip, make your lap bigger, and you can also increase the flare by adding more inches to cut an A line. Okay, now I'm working with a front piece. So first I marked out the center of the front piece. After marking out the center, I went ahead to start marking out my pleat. My pleat, remember, it's 1.5 inches. So I started with the center pleat. I marked 3.4 inch first, then the other side I marked 3.4 inch before lapping together. I did that so I can get like the center because sometimes if you don't get the center of the lap, you might, it might be crooked. Okay, the stitch might be crooked, it might not look straight, the pleat might not look straight. That is why I kept marking the 1.5 and 1.5 before folding the pleat. Don't worry, I'm going to zoom out on the next pleat so you can see the markings and how I lapped. So I just lapped to ensure that I get the center. So I'm trying to be meticulous here. I don't want to make any mistake. I don't want it to look crooked. I want it to be really straight. So I'm taking my time here doing this. So I just pinned up, and also this the stop stitch of each pleat is going to be different lengths. It's going to be different lengths. We'll get to that when we get to that. Okay, I'm just letting you know. To mark out the second pleat, I gave a distance of 2 inches. So you can maintain the 2 inches distance because it looks right, and we're all about looks here. But you can increase your lap. Okay, I said maintain the distance, the pleat distance, but increase your lap if you want it flowy. 2 inches, 2.5 inches. I keep emphasizing on making it free because it looks good when it's free, trust me. Again, I marked my 1.5 inches pleat lap. So I lap that, pin, flip over to ensure that it's on the right on the center, then pin that again. So this is how I did for the back. I'm not going to show you the back until probably I hand stitch, and we'll get all that, but I did the same for the back. The front has 7 pleats and the back has 6 pleats. As you can see, I have 7 pleats. So here I attempted to cut the flare. So remember, I added 4 inches for the flare. That's 2 inches for one side and 2 inches for the other side. That is why I folded the skirt like this. And I used my son's stationery. Don't ask me, I can't find my pin. Someone keep trashing it. So I'm trying to mark out that 2 inches, or even make it less. Anyway, so yeah, I did a really botched job trying to cut that A line because it didn't really work at all. So I did a really botched job, and I pray you do better than this. Do better than this. So I tried to cut it up to my skirt length. This is not my actual skirt length because I'm going to hem. We'll get to that. I'm going to hem 4-5 inches upward to make it bulky at the bottom of the skirt. So try to make your attempt or your first attempt better than mine, okay? Next, I used needle and thread to hold my pleats together. I just took out all the pins and used needle and thread because I want my top stitch to be very neat. I don't want any commas, okay? So that is why I used a hand stitch first. Then I pressed, okay? I pressed to get that straight. You can see my anxiety here because this is my second skirt. I don't want anything, and I want to wear it for a very, 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 very long time. So here I was trying to explain that the pleat lengths are different. We have the short length and we have the long length. For the short length, I use 5.5 inches. The 0.5 inch is for the facing, the skirt facing. While for the long length, I use 6.5 inches. So it's just 5 inches, 6 inches. But the half inch is for the facing, just for the joining for the facing. The pleat length I chose didn't work for me. We'll discuss about that later. Okay, let me tell you, my derrière was big, so I had to like loosen it up to 5 inches and 4 inches. So here my sewing, I sewed really close to the pleat edge. Okay, down here I had to sew up to the 5.5 inches for the short one and 6.5 inches for the long one. You see that? Then for the other top stitch, on the same top stitch, oh my gosh, please understand this, I left 1/4 inch space. Everything I did for the front, I also did for the back. It's time to sew the back skirt pieces together by joining the zipper. So I already marked out where my zipper is gonna be and the zipper allowance. So I'm using an invisible zipper. Let me tell you something, I tried so hard to get the same color as my fabric, but I couldn't find. It was difficult getting the thread, and I knew it's gonna be difficult getting a zipper. This color is quite unique, so that's why I like the fabric. But I am going to try as much as possible to get the zipper for the same color zipper, because I want to wear the skirt for a long time. I like the skirt. So I'm not going to go into details of how to add invisible zipper. Majority of my video I use invisible zipper. I love to use invisible zipper for dresses especially, and I make a lot of dresses. So go watch this video, please go watch this video. I also have a video on how to attach an invisible zipper without a zipper foot. So please go watch those videos. Just go down and watch all my videos, please, and subscribe also. So I'm not going into details on how you can apply an invisible zipper. Besides, I rushed into this because I know I'm going to yank this out once I get the same color. So I didn't even really sew it too tight or too close to the teeth. I didn't do all that. I can't wait to take it out. So I made it easy for me to take out without force and without creating a hole on my skirt. I'll cry if I do. After attaching my invisible zipper, I use the other zipper threads to stitch closing the seam, the open seam. Next, I stitched the side seam of both front and back skirt pieces together. Don't forget the right sides together. Did I mention that this is a beginner friendly sewing project? It's so easy to make. It's easy, very easy. So you can try this out, and you can see how I use this boy stationery. It's very handy. I would like to make this skirt, but a flowy version of the skirt, and definitely in another color of linen. I have one more color of linen, but I have to psych myself. I've always said I will make something that I've made before, but in a different color. But gosh, I just try. But you see, there are other unique styles. but this one I really like this one, and I hardly wear skirts, so I'm gonna attempt to make this, but I need a lot of psyching. I need to psych myself to do this. After stitching, I went ahead to lock all the rough edges. Next, I locked the bottom of the skirt because I'm not going to be double folding. I'm just going to fold once and fold large. So this is like a different type of hem. So I'm just going to be folding like 4 to 5 inches down until I get my desired length. And my desired skirt length is 3/4. So I just folded, I tried it on to see if it's up to my desired length, or if it's more I just reduce or add. That is how I folded the hem. I didn't hem immediately, I just pinned it down and went to other pressing matters such as the facing for the skirt, but don't worry, later on I went back to hem. Now for the facing of the skirt, there's no particular measurement here. I just got strip of fabric, lock both edges and the other edges. That is it. So for the length of the for this strip that I have here, I'm just gonna measure it right in front of you so you see. Yeah, I think they're about 3 inches. Why for the width? The width could be the circumference of your skirt, or it could be more. You just cut the excess. No biggie. Attaching the skirt facing is just easy because this is the way I want it. Remember I told you I am going to loosen that invisible zipper, so I decided to do my facing like this. There's so many ways you could attach a facing, so I'm going to be attaching my facing like this. And remember I have joined other ones of half inch, so I'm going to be pinning on that. Then I'm just going to pin round and sew. Then for the zipper side, I'm just going to pin and sew on the close to the zipper teeth. That is all. So after sewing the facing, I just trimmed out the excess, then put it back, then pin close to the zipper teeth so I can just conceal that top part of the zipper. Also, top stitching, very important, so I top stitch on the facing. Next, I proceeded to hem the skirt. You can see the way I folded it. I just stitched all the way around. This would have been the final step for the pleated skirt, but after fitting, I realized that I need to loosen the top stitch for the pleat because the hair was pushing out, so I didn't like it. So I loosened it by 1 inch, and it was okay. And you can see the flare is not out. Assuming the flare was too much, I wouldn't really bother, but yeah. I have made the necessary adjustments. So this is all for the pleated skirt. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be posting all the sewing videos, so like, share and subscribe. Bissous.